About you. If they treat it like a hustle, they are going to hustle you. Just know. And that's with everything. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am going to be your personal wedding planner, and I'm going to give you tips, tricks, and hacks just to make sure that your day runs smooth. And if you are returning, what's up? You know, what's good? We on part 2. We about to run into these vendors, which is probably the most important piece of your wedding. Okay, let's jump into it. Now, the vendors is where everybody asks me questions like, how do you know a vendor is good? How do you know a vendor is bad? How do you know they're reliable? Don't worry. So with your planner is probably going to give you a list of vendors that they trust and a list of vendors that they have worked with. Go with who they give you. If you decide to do their job, good luck finding a good vendor. Somebody that's been in the wedding game for a very, very long time. With you sticking with somebody who's been in the game for a long time, they're going to give you tips, tricks, and hacks to help you along the way as well. And they're not going to be so money hungry because somebody's on Instagram and just because they have thousands and thousands of followers does not mean that they are going to give you the best customer service. Let's start there.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Make sure you do your research before you do that. My wedding planner, Bruce, was in the game for 20 plus years. So when he came into it, he was just like, oh, baby, don't worry about that. Oh, darling, don't worry about that. It's going to be taken care of. I know this person. I know that person. Don't work with this person. Like, he was just like, anytime I would call him, it was just a smooth transition. Something that I ran across in the process and something that he said to me, and the thing that he told me was, no pressure. I'm not going to, go ahead and tell you to go ahead and pay me, but basically I'm going to make money with or without you. When somebody tells you they're going to make money with or without you, they're not money hungry because they're just like, okay, if I lose you, I can get somebody else, like, no. If you have a vendor that's pushing you and that's like, oh no, you got to hurry up and pay today, or, oh, I got thousands of people waiting for me to book me, and I'm like, it's not that deep. It's really not. Like, the vendor for you is going to care about you. If they treat it like a hustle, they are going to hustle you. Just know. And that's with everything. If they treat it like a hustle, you about to get hustled.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
But if they treat it like a business and it's solely business, like it's no hard feelings if you don't go with me or not, I can recommend you to this other person. Go with that person. I want to specifically talk to the people who are planning their wedding on their own. When you find a vendor and you find their name, I want you to be you to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, look them up, look up any mentions that they have, because these days and times when a vendor or something doesn't work out with somebody's business, they are going directly on social media to blast them. You'll find it. Go on BBB, the Better Business Bureau, and check out that vendor. They are going to have a rating. If they don't have a rating, that's questionable, okay? Because somebody that's been in the game and that is as reliable as they say, check out the Better Business Bureau. Because a lot of my vendors that I had or I didn't have, I went through the Better Business Bureau. And I would ask around, like I would ask my wedding planner, what do you think about this person? Or I would even ask my florist, like, what do you think about this person? The wedding world is small. Like, it is really, really small. So everybody's going to know everybody. Everybody's going to know when something took place and so forth. So if you don't have a planner, use the Better Business Bureau. If you do have a planner, your planner is going to take care of all that. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is there's a difference between a wedding coordinator and there's a difference between a wedding planner. So the wedding planner is going to be the one that's going to help you plan the wedding from the beginning of your wedding to the end. They're going to be the ones to orchestrate the entire symphony. Your wedding coordinator is going to be the person the day of help your wedding run smoothly. Some people like to have 2 in 1. Me and my husband, like I said, we were blessed enough to be able to have Bruce, and when I mean, that man had on a polar, a regular shirt 1 second, and the next second he had on a whole suit and was like hosting our wedding. I was just like, this is mind blowing. Like, he was just amazing. So some people have somebody that can switch on and off like that. But if you don't have a wedding planner that can do both, make sure you have a wedding planner and a wedding coordinator. A lot of people actually like to have um, not a wedding coordinator. You need a wedding coordinator. Let me break it down why you need one. You need a wedding coordinator because if you have all the plans in your book that I told you to put together and nobody knows about these plans, who's going to direct the guests to go eat? Who's going to direct the guests to go in the building? Who's going to direct the guests that it's time for the exit? Who's going to have the show run? That's the wedding coordinator. They're going to do that. If you don't have a wedding planner and you're going to these meetings by yourself with your vendor or with a vendor and you've done your research, you're confident, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go into this meeting and sit down with this person. My advice is you should have somebody to go with you at all times to testify. Okay, don't go by yourself because, like I said, some of these vendors out here are hustling. And if it's just y'all two, it's your word against the vendor's word. You don't need that. You're trying to plan a wedding. So have somebody with you, whether it's your partner or whether it's your mom, sister, brother, whoever, have them come with you. Okay. When they come with you, I want you to make sure that you have pen and paper or even your phone. Take notes. Everything they say, get it in writing. They promise you something, get it in writing. Get all that in writing, date it, time it, stamp it, have proof on all fronts, okay? So after you have all your proof from all the vendors, what I also want you to do next is I want you to write up a contract. Don't get scared when I say write up a contract. You can go right on ChatGPT and have ChatGPT write up a contract for you. Put in the details of what you wrote down and what you want. Write up a contract and have your vendor sign the contract. This is solely business, okay? They have you sign a contract, you have them sign a contract. It's a mutual relationship, baby. Mutual relationship. And then they'll know you're not playing. Because some vendors know when you're gullible, when you're like, oh my God, I want to have the wedding of my dreams. And they're like, do you want to do this? Do you like, yes, yes, yes. And then your husband is sitting there and he's like, okay, I want to give this vendor because this is what she wants. But in the back of that vendor mind, they're like, I just got somebody gullible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, business is business at the end of the day. You need to know what you're walking into. You need to know that I'm not playing no games about my wedding. Like, this is my day. You do it right or you don't do it at all. The next thing is when it comes to signing the contract, make sure you and your partner are there together and y'all are looking thoroughly through that contract. If you have to get a lawyer to look at it, then do it. There's so many clauses in these contracts that will hold your feet to the fire. I mean, I researched everything like it's a clause. I think it's like a beyond God clause or something like that. Basically, if something happens that's beyond their control, whether it's rain, a hurricane, or something like that, they're not liable for it. Like, you really are going to become your own lawyer doing this. That's why I said it's essential to have a planner because they're kind of like your lawyer. They know the business, they know the clauses. Because, I mean, in one of the contracts that I saw, they were able to use your wedding and make money off of it. And when it's something that you planned and you put together, like, they could use it, for their good. So it's like, if you're not okay with that, some people are, just make sure you read that contract. If you are by yourself and you take it to somebody with some type of experience or you study up on it, or if you have a planner, your planner is going to take care of that. If you have a vendor that's making you sign out of haste and they're making you put 50% down or more, you better close that book and walk right out the door. There's no need for you to put that much down. It's just not a need. You want to know why it's not a need? The things that they have to get, they can't get it but so early in advance. Like, I mean, I can't speak from a florist or a decorator's actual point of view, but from what I've seen and how I've talked to certain different vendors and how they operate, there's only like but so much in advance you can order certain stuff or get certain stuff together. So with that being said, don't let anybody make you pay 50% or more. And sometimes that's just people's business. And if it is, then that's just not your cup of tea. Go and find somebody else that's not like that. Don't sign out of haste. Don't pay out of haste. It should be at least between 10%, maybe 25%. And at this time, we didn't have a planner. Off of the words that I chose, off of my binder, we looked at different venues to see what venue would actually work with us. Our first venue we chose was the Clyde. It was a beautiful venue, but it just wasn't big enough for both of our families. And we wanted people to be comfortable. And I wanted to, like, do my fiance moment. So I was like, yeah, I can't, we can't do it in here. So we went to Victory North, and my husband actually found it and he sent it to me. And it was a fairly new venue. I took pictures. It's important to take pictures, but I'll tell you later why it's important to take pictures of the venue. You're going to take, like, here are my photos of the pictures that I took. You're going to take pictures of the venue and you're going to just walk around and just take it all in and see if you can imagine yourself there and you guys dancing together, just looking into each other's eyes. If you feel it, you'll know that that's the venue for you. So when you guys decide that that's the venue that you want, you're going to sit down. Like I said, if you have a planner, your planner's going to sit down with you. But if not, y'all are going to sit down. And the first thing I want you to ask is, do you have any vendors that you prefer to work with? Or do you have a list of vendors that you prefer to work with? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I work with this person. I'll work with that person. Or I'll give you a discount if you work with this person, if you work with that. It comes with perks because the wedding world is small. Like I stated before, they only like working with vendors that they like to work with. And they have a good reason why they like to work with them. Because some people, don't do a good job as a vendor, and certain venues are like, I don't want that person back here. You know what I mean? So that's why it's very, very essential to not do anything out of haste when it comes to picking vendors. Take your time, because you may pick a vendor that your venue doesn't accept or doesn't want to work with. Like, Victory North actually had us send them a list of our vendors. So that's what I'm saying. Don't do anything out of haste, because anything that's done out of haste typically does not work. All in all, that's the spiel that I have for vendors. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to talking about what's next in our wedding series. Also, if you guys have any ideas where you don't hear something that I talk about, I would be more than happy to talk about it on my next episode. So feel free to reach out to me, and have a good day. Bye.